When we reviewed the fully imported 11-seater Kia Carnival, we said that it may very well be the best value MPV on the market. And that opinion continues to stay true. At under 200,000 ringgit, it still represents excellent value for what you're getting. However, I do also understand that there are plenty of buyers who will say that 11 seats are too many. What are you going to do with 4 rows of seats? And you're quite right. I completely understand. And so does Burma's, which is why now you can get the Kia Carnival CKD in 7 and 8-seater forms. We have with us the 8-seater high-spec model, which is expected to be the volume seller for the Kia Carnival here in Malaysia. So let's find out if it's worth the extra 50,000 ringgit more than the 11-seater CBU. My name is AIMAN ABDULLAH. This is Malaysian Motoring. This is our review of the 2022 Kia Carnival 8-seater high. Now, in the transition from CBU to CKD, there have been many exterior changes, such as that radar module for high-spec models, the slightly smaller taillights, and the LED combination rear lamps. That's it. Everything else is exactly the same, including things like the 18-inch dual-tone alloy wheels, which are now wrapped in Goodyear rubbers, which is a little bit different. And there has been a slight change in terms of the colors. Unfortunately, the CKD models are no longer available in the beautiful red hue like the CBU model that we reviewed before, which is a bit of a shame because I really like that color. Now at the back, like I said, they do have the new LED tail lights for the CKD models. Unfortunately, the indicators and reverse lights still remain on the bumper. It's a bit of a bugbear for me. More importantly, you still get the powered tailgate. But the reason I'm opening this is because now you only have 3 rows of seats instead of 4. When the backmost row is deployed, you have an incredible amount of space back here, which means that if you were to load this up completely full, everybody in the family and the cat, you can still put all the luggage that everybody needs to bring in the back, which is not something that's very easily claimed by a lot of 7 or 8-seater MPVs. And more importantly, despite the added practicality, the third row can still be stowed just as easily as before with just 2 motions. 1 and 2. Flat load bay. Van. Now inside the new Carnival, it may look immediately similar to you, but there are some small changes. For starters, you now get ambient lights in the doors, which is very nice. You also get ventilated front seats in this 8-seater, which is also very nice. In the 8-seater high model, you also get the much demanded 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, replacing the analog dials that we got in the CBU model. And standard on all CKD variants is the inclusion of a Bose audio system, which in this car sounds absolutely fantastic. Now, what remains in this car are very important features, things like the large 12.3-inch central infotainment display, which has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which displays in the full width of the screen, which looks fantastic. And as per usual, as with most Hyundai and Kia infotainment systems, the system is very easy to use. There are shortcut buttons set up just below, and the HVAC controls are completely separate, which means it's very easy to use. Now, the other thing that I quite like in this car is the fact that there is, naturally, being such a large car, a lot of places to store things. You have 2 very large bottle holders here and a little slot in the middle for you to put your phone. You get bottle holders in the side. You get big pockets up here on the doors. In the back, there are even more bottle holders, even more cup holders, and so on, which makes this a very practical family car. The other thing that I like is actually the interior colorway. Now, I do know that a lot of Malaysians prefer black because you're unimaginative. However, this saddle brown and black interior paired with the twin sunroofs that you get in the high-spec models means that this interior feels really airy and very plush indeed. I certainly wouldn't have it any other way. Now, the other big change I've just noticed is the steering wheel in this car is not positioned upside down. I just forgot to set it the right way around. Is the fact that this car now comes with the Advanced Driver Assist Suite from Kia, which means you get basically level 2 semi-autonomy, but we will talk about that in the driving portion. But for now, let's go to where it matters most in a people mover, in the back. Now, while some may argue that the loss of seats equals the loss of versatility, I disagree, because as you can see, the 8-seater in this car allows you to configure the seats to exactly how you may want it. So for example, this car we received set up in this conference style seating arrangement. So I have the 3 second row seats facing the third row, and it is pretty comfortable. Now, adding to things back here is of course the fact that you have aircon vents for every passenger. Every one of these rear windows gets its own sun blind, which means if you have small children in the back, they can remain protected from the sun. And because the aircon vents are right here, it does mean that I can be pretty comfortable. On top of that, these cars come as standard with tint, which means the heat and UV rejection is pretty good throughout, which means it's quite suitable to sit back here and maybe, I don't know, read a book. Hi Chui. Now, of course, if you do not want to have conference style seating back here, you can have these seats set up in a more conventional manner. And of course, the second row seats can be removed individually, and as I demonstrated earlier, the third row can be folded flat into the floor. What is perhaps of greater value to potential buyers is the fact that the 3 second row seats come with 1 ISOFIX mount each. And on the third row, you have 2 more ISOFIX mounts, which means that you can put up to 5 child seats in here and still have 1 very narrow space for an adult. More importantly, all of these seats have recline adjustment, which means that over a long distance you can be very comfortable. And I can attest, based on my drive in this car all the way to Penang, you can check out our video linked in the corner here, you can put adults in the third row and they will be very comfortable over a longer journey, owing to the very comfortable seats and of course the aircon vent that I mentioned earlier. Now, one of the big upgrades with this car, aside from the sunroof and the speakers and so on, is the Advanced Driver Assist features. So let's get back in the driver's seat to talk a little bit more about that. Now, driving the Kia Carnival, although it's the 8-seater high, for the most part it still feels very similar to the CBU model. So you've still got the same 2.2 litre Smartstream D engine up front with about 200-ish horsepower, 440 Nm of torque, with power going to the front wheels via an 8-speed automatic gearbox selectable via this rotary knob selector down here. And overall, the accoutrements are very similar. The only differences from where I'm sitting is that my wing mirrors are now smaller, and I now have a digital instrument cluster in front of me. Now, this is obviously a good thing, because if you watch our review of the 11-seater Kia Carnival, you'll know that we love the way this car drives. It drives like a big SUV rather than an unwieldy, tall-riding MPV. What that means is this car has excellent road manners, and it's very easy to get along with. And as a result, it's a great car and a great companion. Now, I've had this car for about 6 days, during which time I have done 1,200 kilometers, a little over 1,200 kilometers. And during that time, I took in a couple of long distance trips, as well as a few sort of in-town errand running type things. Now, the obvious thing is that when you're driving in town, this is a very large, heavy people mover, and you have to get used to the fact that you are driving something that is more than 5 meters long, more than 2 meters wide, and all of that, and all of what that entails, which includes things like, for example, having to be extra careful that you're in lane, and that you're not accidentally eating into somebody else's lane or getting a little bit too close to the curb, for example. But the 360-degree cameras available in this 8-seater high model makes life a lot easier as well. Then, of course, is the fact that for someone like me, I'm used to driving sort of mid-sized saloons and small hatchbacks and stuff like that. And so I'm used to being able to sort of nip around corners and stuff like that, especially when I'm stuck in traffic. You can't do that in this. You have to come to terms with the fact that this is a big car. So drive it like a big car. Respect the fact that it's a big car, and all will be well. But the biggest change comes from motorway cruising. So compared to the 11-seater, we now get different tires. This car now runs on Goodyear SUV efficient grip tires instead. And like I said, you have the smaller door mirrors. And because it's the 8-seater high model, you get the full ADAS suite of features, which means you get level 2 semi-autonomy, essentially traffic jam assistant, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert. The only little feature that this car doesn't get is the blind spot information camera, where when you indicate, it'll show you a feed in the instrument cluster. We don't get that in our market. I'm not sure why, even though technically this car has the hardware to support it. Never mind. And what that means is it transforms the way this car drives on the motorway. It's still stable at speed. It's still very comfortable and very quiet at speed. All the usual Kia Carnival hallmarks are there. The improvement, however, is in terms of just how much effort is required to shuttle this thing along. The ADAS system in this car is so well judged and so adept that it means that you can trust the car to do the majority of the work for you. So when you're on the motorway, you can set the cruise control at a speed that you're comfortable with, and you can turn on the pilot assist, which is selectable via a little button here with the steering wheel on it, and the car will do most of the work. You have to keep your hands on the wheel, obviously, and it will warn you if you take your hands off the wheel for any more than about 10 seconds, but otherwise, the car does the work. This means that when you are traveling over longer distances, all those little corrections required to keep the car on the straight and narrow, you don't have to do. The car assists with a lot of these things, and that takes out so much strain from long distance driving. Now, I took this car to Temerloh and back with no traffic, and the car was faultless. But I wasn't quite happy with it because I wanted to give this car a proper test, which included traffic jams. So I went to Malacca on a Sunday. And so naturally, coming back from Malacca on Sunday evening meant I encountered about 40 minutes worth of traffic coming in just south of Seremban, heading back into town, during which time I managed to use the traffic jam assistant to its fullest. Now, it was also raining at the time, and so I used the system as it was supposed to be. Through traffic, with the car in eco mode, it must be said that the drive mode does affect the way the adaptive cruise control works. Because if you're in eco mode, for example, the accelerations in this car are very gentle. It's designed to be efficient, but it will get the car up to speed. And of course, it does get more aggressive if you put it in normal or sport. Of course, you also have smart, which is essentially an adaptive system, so it kind of figures out your driving style and then figures out the best mode to put you in, as it were. And smart is, I'm sure, very smart, but I prefer doing stuff myself, so I just stuck it in eco. Okay, so I just stuck it in eco. And with eco and the adaptive cruise, I could just leave the car to do the work. And it was truly wonderful. And now I'm stuck in even more traffic, as the Federal Highway normally is at this hour. And again, I can let the car do most of the work and pay a little bit more attention to you if I have to, but you shouldn't. And when you pair that with the Bose audio system that this car comes with, and this very adept ADAS system, which does not panic when somebody cuts in front of you, because obviously the following distance is not Malaysian following distance, so everyone will potong. But the car doesn't panic, it sorts everything out, it doesn't slam on the brakes unless it's absolutely necessary, and it's such a smooth operator that I can just let the car do most of the work. And that, to me, has changed the way this car drives significantly. Because the 11-seater Carnival was already a very adept, very polished thing. But now, like this, it's even better. On top of that, this system, because it's so polished, it gives you so much more confidence when you're driving at speed, or when you're driving in town, when you're stuck in traffic, or even when you're driving in city traffic, like in KL traffic. Because it can figure out where cars are, it doesn't get freaked out by bikes. It's just really great. And when you pair that to the fact this car is already very comfortable and already very quiet, and now in these high models I get my bum ventilated from these seats, I have nothing to complain about. Truthfully, the only problems with this car are really very minor. They are nitpicky at best. Because this car runs on a diesel, it does mean that there is a little bit more vibration from the engine room up front, which means that when you are idling or when you're on very light throttle, you will feel a little bit of judder and a little bit of shake coming through the cabin, but it's hardly a deal breaker. And like I said, that being the only downside, it does compensate by having absolutely excellent fuel economy. So again, we've driven this car over 1,200 kilometers now. We've had to refuel the car slightly, I think 35 liters since we picked it up, the first full tank obviously, plus another 35 liters. And the car has done a consistent 8.6 liters per 100 kilometers. Now bear in mind that this includes the worst traffic that you can throw at it, including a little bit of highway snarls this morning trying to get into town to run another errand, as well as fast motorway driving. And that cannot be matched by any of the petrol competitors within this space. Not the 2.4 litre Velfire, not the 3.5 litre V6 Alphard. Nothing comes close to this level of fuel economy, especially with this kind of performance on tap. And then, when you take the safety into account, with this essentially full level 2 semi-autonomy system, it means that this car is basically unrivaled. You compare this to the Nissan Serena S Hybrid, which is a little bit cheaper, and it doesn't have nearly as much tech, and even though it is a hybrid, it cannot get this kind of fuel economy in town. Compare this to the Honda Odyssey, forget it. Compare this to the grey import vans, does not come close. Admittedly, the Alphard and Velfire do have slightly softer rides. Kia, as per usual, has gone for a very European tune with this suspension, and so it does give the car a bit more secondary ride stability. It gives you a lot more confidence as the driver, but as a passenger you will be bounced about a little bit more. And I do really mean a little bit. Which means, as far as I'm concerned, when I reviewed the 11-seater CBU Kia Carnival, I said that it was the best MPV that money could buy in this segment. This 8-seater high Kia Carnival is now the best MPV that money can buy in this segment, full stop. With the amount of cargo space in this car, the versatility of the seats, the ability to change the seating positions, the completely comprehensive suite of active safety features, plus this fantastic engine up front, you cannot fault it. Absolutely cannot fault it. So would I recommend one? Absolutely. If you want a large MPV that doesn't look like a large MPV, has all the practicality of a large MPV, and the performance of a cruise missile, this is the car for you. And if you don't want any of those things, what's wrong with you? In any case, that's been our review of the 2022 8-seater Kia Carnival CKD locally assembled in Kedah. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon so you're notified every time we make a new upload. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All the links are in the description below. And if you'd like to know about the Kia Carnival 7-seater, which is being positioned more as a chauffeur-driven barge, well, stay tuned. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care, stay safe. Jangan bodoh.